Hello there, and welcome to In My Opinion for UFO Grendizer, the Feast of Wolves.
On the planet of Fleet, our lead Prince Duke Fleet is about to be married to Rubina, the daughter of the king of the mighty Vega Empire. Turns out it's a trap pulled by the king and they attack planet Fleet and the kingdom. Even though Duke is able to get to his planet's greatest weapon, a giant mecha named Grendizer, and save some people, the same can't be said for his family, as they are killed and Duke Fleet is beaten and forced to flee. He lands on Earth and is adopted by Genzo Umon, and his new identity is Daisuke. Some years pass, and now the Vega Empire have shown up with their sights set on Earth and its resources, and it's up to Daisuke and Grendizer to protect it. First thing I have to say is I know jack about the source material, and the only reason I know Grendizer is because I like mecha, and I know this series is very popular. Saying that, I actually enjoyed the little story the game had and its Monster of the Week vibe. So much so, I wish we could get more of the game to get through the whole thing, as from what I gather, this game only goes up to episode 7 of its 74 episode run. Our lead, Daisuke, falls into the category of super good guy, which is not a bad thing, as he is pretty likable. And the writing can be a bit melodramatic, which I don't mean in a negative way, as it does fit. This is an action-adventure game where you control the mighty Grendizer. The combat's pretty straightforward as you punch many robots, though once you get to a certain point, you can make Grendizer more powerful. Not only can you make his attacks generally stronger, but you can start to up Grendizer's arsenal. You have things like shoulder boomerangs, a slam attack, throwing a double axe, and his super lightning attack, which pretty much wipes everything in its path, and it looks cool to boot. These special attacks will eat up your meters. There's a yellow one that when full you can do that flashy lightning attack, and everything else eats up the red meter. You'll even have to use them to heal up when you're low on health. The yellow meter can be filled by doing special attacks, while the red meter can only be brought back by attacking enemies with normal attacks. Though you can upgrade said meter, allowing you to pull off more special attacks at a time, becoming more of a threat to the villains. You do have a dodge move that slows down time when done at the right moment, but it's useless as it doesn't slow down long enough to do anything. That is until you get an upgrade letting you shoot arm lasers when you pull it off. How the game usually works is after some walking and talking on the farm with your friends and then the base, you're put on the map where you have to stop the Vega Empire from succeeding in their evil plans of the day. The game does give you multiple markers for these missions, which range from saving cities, escorting someone, cleaning up water, and so forth, though it mainly boils down to beating the crap out of robots. I do like that you have pretty much free range to tackle these missions in any order, and the missions themselves are not super long, so they never wear out their welcome. And if you want to take a break from the game, it does save after each one, so it's safe to quit. Also, beating up these robots in the missions never got dull, since they tend to introduce some new ones here and there. They also add a little extra step with some robots as they can't be damaged unless you use certain moves. And like I mentioned before, while the combat is pretty basic, the upgrades you get do help spice things up a little bit. Speaking of upgrading, to do so there are two ways. One is in the main base before you're sent out, the other is in each map there's a radio tower, and usually next to it is an upgrade car in which you can upgrade Grendizer. Now upgrading does cost materials, and these are gotten by destroying robots and exploring the map, and you'll find little things to break and holes to drill in, and you'll start to collect different needed materials as you open up new maps. I like that each map lets you know how many collectibles it has, as besides materials there are other little collectibles like spots where Daisuke starts to monologue about the planet, or the attack, or other stuff. What is kind of annoying is that there are no markers for the collectibles. So say if you're down to just one collectible on said map, you have to just run around and hope you run into it, which happened to me more than once. Collecting these also unlock 4 skins of which you can equip while at the main base. I personally found them okay, but I still with the game's default look. After beating the map, you're allowed to revisit whenever you want to get anything you miss, even after the credits roll. Fair warning if you're going after the trophy that needs you to beat the final boss a certain way. You'll need to pull it off the first time, or else you will need to load up an autosave that makes you do the whole final map again. Grendizer does try to mix things up with the gameplay by adding shoot 'em up sections and where you either fly Grendizer or Koji's ship to shoot up the Vega in your way, with these being from the top down or behind perspective. Also, since Koji doesn't have a mecha, he gets little power-ups that change the ship's bullets and can pick up powerful rockets. These ain't bad at all, and they spread them apart nicely from the regular combat. It even sometimes ends with facing a boss ship. Speaking of boss fights, Grendizer will be going up against powerful Saucer Beast. These are fun, and it's all about sticking and moving. And in good old mecha fashion, you get a little cutscene taking out the Saucer Beast, ending with a big, enjoyable kaboom. I also like how the boss you'll face sometimes makes his presence known on the map, kinda building up to the confrontation. As you can see, this title doesn't have the highest budget, though even with that, I can't say it's a bad looking game. Grendizer looks awesome and it's pretty true to the source. And same goes for the enemies, and I really dig the Saucer Beast designs as they are creative. The maps you'll be running around look okay as well, and each map does look visually different from one another, instead of just a whole lot of copy and paste. A lot of the dialogue scenes do use character stills and they look fine, though I wish they were more animated. When it comes to the music, it has the instrumental of the original opening, and as someone who's never heard it before, I can say it's pretty funky and does fit well. The voice track is a 50-50 thing. Sometimes it can sound good and sometimes it can be pretty damn stiff, especially when it comes to Daisuke saying Grendizer's attacks. I played with the English dub, which is very British sounding, but there are other voice options like Japanese. There are some technical problems, such as the game not running at a smooth 60 FPS all the time, as you can clearly see frame drops when running around, though I will say this never hindered my experience. There's also some weird texture moments where they will be all finicky at certain angles when you move the camera around, though this only happened to me in one specific spot.
Did you hear that? The Vega want to mess with our brains.
Don't worry, we won't let them. Thank you for your help.
Thank you, Grendizer, but you might want to cover your ears. Who knows what the Vega want to put in our heads? Grendizer, can you hear me? It's happening again. The Vega have taken over the Tokyo Tower. Our colleagues are in danger.
If the Vega use the tower's instruments to transmit their brain reprogramming, the capital will be finished. We must put a stop to it as soon as we can, boys.
We can't let them brainwash us. Let's go, big brother.
This game is pretty rough with some tech issues, but even with that, I still had a good time. While the combat is simple, it's still fun using Grendizer's tools to fight the Vega Empire, and watching other mechs go boom is entertaining. It took me about 13 hours to finish the game, and that's counting collecting everything. When it comes to replay value, you really just have cleaning up any collectibles, and that's about it. Even as someone who doesn't know much about Grendizer and never ever saw a single episode, I can say this game is at least worth a look if you're in the mood for some simple but fun mech fighting action. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts on this game, and for gamer's sake, keep gaming.